Carl, thank you for joining us here today. I really am looking forward to understanding your background, your journey, where you're coming from, where you're going. But I'm starting from a place of ignorance. I really know almost nothing about you apart from your name, and that people said you're a very interesting person. So why would they describe you as an interesting person, do you think?
Why would they describe me as an interesting person? Well, I think that maybe for a couple of reasons. One, I have a very eclectic background. I dropped out of high school. Well, didn't drop out. I didn't finish high school fully. Then I went back as like a mature student and got into university, did like social work and anthropology, dropped out of university to go become a yoga instructor, came back, finished some stuff, became a personal trainer.
How old are you now?
I'm 32.
32.
Yeah.
And what are you doing right now?
I decided not a couple months ago, like almost a year ago, that I wanted to become a personal trainer. So I did the things and got everything in place to get that going, and I'm trying to get my own little private personal training business off the ground. And
why do you want to do that?
why do I want to do that?
Yeah. I'm not critical, I just want to understand.
No, that's a legitimate question. You know, there are only two things that I ever wanted to be growing up, and one of them was a stripper, and the other one was a personal trainer.
So that's an unusual sense of desire. Why the stripper?
I always saw it as something as very powerful.
Have you had issues in terms of your self-esteem in the long term? And I ask only out of interest. I'm fascinated by self-esteem as a concept. And
no, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I've had I feel like the more I'm really big on, most recently, getting really big on talking a lot to other people and forming community around experience and identity. And I have found that the more that I sit in my head and keep my own thoughts to myself around things like self-esteem, or whatever it might be, the more I get on this dark downward spiral of thinking that my experience with it is so much separate from everybody else's. I forget that not everybody is as open to talking about their lives as I am. So I think I kind of freak out my coworkers a little bit when I'm like, yeah, I can't be friends with somebody who doesn't think about killing themselves at least once a month. Yeah, sometimes I think I overshare with that, but it's all in my personal effort of bringing community together, I think, and destigmatizing those pieces of ourselves and of society that a lot more people experience, I think.
Would you define yourself in terms of, let's say, social media, in terms of, okay, I am successful when what?
I don't know if I necessarily would define.
But you don't have any bigger goals of saying, okay, I need to do this, I need to have 50 shows or 50,000 people or whatever it is, as a way of saying, now here's an external measure of success that I feel has validated what I do. And I'm not saying you should, I just want you to do.
I think I see those things as really awesome add-ons, really awesome bonuses. If that's the outcome, that's great. And maybe the great part about it is that more people can be reached by it, and if you were talking about the personal training thing, I recently got, I get the folks I work with to do feedback forms with me when we're halfway through our sessions. And I recently got a feedback form. Oh, I'm gonna start crying. I recently got a feedback form from
we have
one from one person I was working with, and they said that in working with me that they've been able to push themselves to do things that they never thought they could have done, and hearing that I've been able to be there with somebody as they've gone on their journey to achieve something or expand their mind or their understandings of themselves in a way they never could have thought possible.
Do we have any Kleenex?
That's okay, I don't need Kleenex.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're really saying is
great.
this validation and feeling that
Yeah.
changing the trajectory for a single person.
Yeah, even if it's one person who has been impacted or changed or the seed has been planted, I feel that is a success.
And is there a group of people you feel you're most focused upon helping?
Yeah. The majority of the work that I'm passionate about exists in the queer community. I mean, once I came to understand myself as a queer person, that became...
How old were you when that happened?
Like when I think I was in like elementary, and like my mom caught me making out with like one of my girlfriends in my room on a sleepover, and like I wasn't allowed to have sleepovers, and like I didn't know what that meant. Yeah, and I just
Because
like,
it was appropriate.
yeah, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know what that meant. But like, yeah, I think that I really like the first time that like I think I like admitted to myself that in terms of like sexuality, I wasn't straight, would have been in my early mid-20s, I think. Yeah. And
So why, I'm not going to say so late, because
yeah.
it's not so late, but why do you think it happened then rather than earlier?
There was like this really like shitty experience that I had in junior high, about like, again, like I'm like, oh, like it's totally like everybody makes out with their friends that are of the same sex as they do. Why is that a weird thing? Apparently it was like a weird thing in junior high, and like, well, to like the people that were in my junior high. And people were like making fun of me for being gay.
You were bullied quite a bit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was bullied a lot in like all throughout school. Yeah.
Because of this, or for other reasons? Or?
I don't know. I think maybe I was a very like insecure and unsure child and teenager, and people could probably smell it on me a mile away, and like that's who bullies love to pick on. So.
And that's changed.
Yeah.
It feels like it's changed talking to you today.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. For sure.
And so
yeah.
part of that change
Yeah.
involved the recognition within yourself about your gender identity. It sounds like I could be wrong there.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
And then you did a series of other things that validated you, and you saw where you could make a difference in your feeling. Probably, and I'm making a guess here, but from the way you describe it, you're probably feeling better about yourself now than you've done before for a long while. Is that right?
Yeah, like just not worrying about what people thought about me. And in order for me to come to a place where I didn't really care what people thought about me, I had to like reconcile my own thoughts about myself.